What's going on, everybody? Get these slow jams going on. Thanks for hanging with us there in the beginning while we're getting everything set up. A little bit behind. I think we're okay. Let me get these slow jams cooking right about there. Just nice. All right, how's everyone doing? I see there's a ton of you watching already. Got about 61 people. This is totally spur of the moment. We didn't prep this at all. We hit a milestone today on the channel. We hit 70,000 subscribers. As of today, I'm completely blown away. So my main man, Brennan, and I thought it would be great to go live with everyone, check in with
Word
you
up,
guys Monday
suckers.
night, and answer questions. This is all about you guys tonight. And thank you for all of you guys that subscribe, for pumping us up to 70K. Here's to 100K, man. It's been a shitload of work just to get to this point, and I would be happy if it all stopped right now because it's been really freaking cool. I see we got a lot of cool people in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with us on your Monday night. Mondays suck, so we got through it. Tony, how you doing, man?
Good, dude. Actually, I had plenty of time. Right when you called, you're like, hey, do you want to go live in like 30 minutes? And I was like, yeah, but I need to take a shower. It's like just to freshen up a little bit. So I had plenty of time to get a quick little rinse-a-roo.
Quick waffle stomp in.
I got a waffle stomp in. And then I decided, you know what? Clay was talking about having his like studio all set up. And I was like, I'm going to set up here in my new little music studio here. So,
Dude, we got a new Easter egg. So the German flag up here.
nice.
That little hand-painted Clash Bash logo from Pascal, our buddy from Germany. Finally got the ladder in here and hung that sucker up.
Is he here in the comments?
I doubt it, man. You gotta, like, it's, what is it, 2, 3 in the morning over there for him, maybe later. So, I sent him a picture and he's super stoked about it.
I'm sure he told you that he's coming to Texas.
Yeah, soon.
So there's some exciting content abound whenever he comes into town, huh?
Yeah, I think he's staying for like a week or two. He wants to go see the Alamo and do all kinds of cool Texas stuff.
Well, we were just there.
Yeah, we checked out the basement. The basement at the Alamo is legit. It's pretty cool. It's a lot bigger than you think the basement at the Alamo would be. Who we got in the comment? Kalash Kamaz, man. Where is he at? Here he is. Really good AK content. My man's trying to get up to 1,000 subs. You guys need to go follow Kalash Kamaz. We shoot matches with John all the time. He just popped up in our recent video where we went and shot Suns. He was the only other dude that had the balls to bring an AK to that match. So go check him out.
Nice. Well, how's everyone doing tonight? I know we just kind of dropped this at the last second. Sometimes these make the best live streams is when we really don't have much of like a written agenda. It's really just a matter of just kind of getting together and winging it with y'all. So thank y'all for joining us. Hey, for those of y'all who are in the comments who are watching, let us know where you're from and what are you drinking. I know it's a Monday night. In fact, I need to probably grab something to drink, but let us know where you're from. Just kind of curious.
Tea, full leaded, not diet.
Ooh, man, I'm gonna have to grab me a drink here in a second. Someone's asking about the Sons of Liberty Gunworks leaks. Check that out, fellas.
Those dudes are cool.
They're pretty
For
cool.
anyone wondering, go follow, if you're not, I'm sure a lot of you are, they're big time. Go follow Sons on Instagram, follow KB, follow Kyber, Clayco, all the pages. I think you're in for a treat this weekend. Really cool announcement coming.
Very cool. Someone said from the Woodlands, Texas, or the Woodlands somewhere else.
Seems like a very common name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's a ton of them. By the way, how's the music level in the background? I never know. So let me know if it's like distracting. I'll turn it down.
Clay, I was going to say your mic volume seems to be a little lower than I recall. Just throwing that out there.
How's that? A little bit better? I had
That's
to turn.
way better.
My bad. I had it turned down. I forget this. I don't fully understand this thing yet, and it's got its own little volume knob on it. My
I was just thinking, I probably just lost more of my hearing.
Yeah, the Woodlands, Texas. A lot of Texas people. A lot of people from
Man.
Vegas, Alabama. Oh, there's Dan Booker.
Nice.
Got almost 100 of you guys watching on a freaking Monday night. Tell me, who had the suckiest Monday? The lamest day at work, man. First day, long week, holidays, or coming to a close. Sat at this computer and just worked on day job stuff all day. Super lame. Jacob, Missouri, Northern Michigan. Northern Michigan. I got a good buddy from Michigan. Work with him, known him for a long, long time. Lucas had a terrible Monday. Rachel, let us know in the comments, how was your Monday? Been out here in the rain and the fog. Pennsylvania, San Antonio. Tony and I just hung out in San Antonio this last weekend. Super fun town, man. A lot of cool people in San Antonio. A lot of cool people. Magnolia, Texas. Dude, a lot of you guys are so close to us. Bunch of locals. Midwest Savage working on the line. Shitty Monday.
We got some Texas boys in the comments.
Oh, dude, there's a ton of them. Everyone, say a prayer for DZ46. He had a bad day at work today. Bad Monday.
Yeah, Monday. This Monday, I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a rough day, dude. It's one of those days where I decided to take my time getting up. I had to take Ivy to daycare, and then I realized, fuck, dude, I had things happening at 9 that I wasn't ready for, and it was like the next 2 hours of my morning were running up and down the stairs and doing a bunch of stupid shit.
Yeah, dude, I had a ton of stuff come across my plate today. Just one of those days. Flood Munitions in the chat, man. Dude, this guy is a freaking celebrity now. I can't believe I know a celebrity, and he's here with us. We met Flood in person at Red October. One of the raddest dudes I've ever met. Got a chance to smoke some cigars with him, do a little drinking at the MK3 Firearms crib. Super cool dude. You should go check him out on Instagram.
Well, it looks like we're getting a lot of questions about AKs, like what would you buy, blah 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 blah. So what are some of the questions that have been coming through your DMs lately? Like if you had to pick like maybe the top 2 questions that you're getting.
I just released my collection video on Sunday, and I've never gotten so many DMs after a video. They just flooded in. Tons of questions. One of the questions I got a lot was what happened to the 545 Galils, because we've got all 3 barrel links, the 8-inch, the 13, and the 16. Tons
all
of people
matching
are asking.
serial numbers.
All matching serial numbers. They all end in 74. All 3 of them. Certificates of authenticity and all. I'll be honest, man, we really don't shoot them much. They're kind of picky with ammo, and honestly, because it's like a matching set, they're so valuable. I really don't beat on them much, and they all stay at the shop at our AKX facility. So that's why you didn't see them in the video. They just really don't come out much. Man, what else? Oh, a bunch of people asked why I don't have any underfolders. And you know what, dude? I need to change that. I hate shooting underfolders, but I feel like I need to own one. Pretty bad, actually, just to have one. So that's a change I need to make in my life.
What are you thinking if you had to, like right now, you had $1,000 to spend and you had to go buy an older underfolder, what would you at least be looking for?
I think an M70 would be my top pick right now.
Like an OG M70 AB2, I think.
Yeah, grenade sights and everything.
I got one of those like right behind me.
I know. That's if I was looking to stash one in the personal collection, because dude, like I've already got the surplus wood for it with the trench art. You know, you don't need the stock for those. All you need is a really stinky looking set of handguards and a nice black Yugo grip, and you've got a pretty sick looking AK. That would be top of my list. Yeah, M70 AB2. Someone agreed with you there. That's what I would want if I had my pick of underfolders. I know there's some really cool underfolder milled guns, like some older Sam 7s, but man, something about, we talk about this all the time, that we wish we would have gotten into Yugos way earlier in life. So that's my pick, man. M70 AB2 with the grenade sights.
Too bad we can't show guns on YouTube.
I know, they're a bunch of buttholes.
For those of y'all that don't know what that is, you want to do a little share screen and show people what you're talking about?
Yep, sure can. While I'm doing
Someone's
that,
saying M64 underfolder. I got one of those here too, and it's on a re-weld receiver. It's pretty badass. That would actually be probably kind of a cool play if you wanted to go with a milled receiver, the M64. But I don't think you can go wrong with an M70 with the original grenade sight. That's really the way to go.
yeah, I forgot you had the milled receiver. That thing is freaking awesome. Like, so sick.
Someone's saying, have you ever shot one of those Apocalypse series AKs from Meridian? If you've shot like a Romanian kit build gun, then you've shot a Meridian gun.
I have shot one. Get out of here. So that's really what we're talking about as far as an AB2. So you can see here, you have a gas shut off on your gas block. This flips forward, cuts off the gas if you were going to do like grenade things. And you would have a grenade sight, and it just looks super cool. Folds down nice and flush on your upper hand guard. Straight underfolder. It's not canted downward like some other variants. Very cool Yugo black grip. And of course those beautiful 3 vent hole Yugo handguards that I freaking love. Some of my favorite wooden handguards on any AK variant. Just a good looking gun. Bulge trunnion and receiver. Super cool. And it would be even cooler if you could find one with flip up tritium sights. That would be super sick. Like this one here, you can see it right there on the front sight post. The flip up tritium. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. And it's just cool that Yugos have all those little Easter eggs. Super rad.
And if you like some handguards with trench art?
Yes, which I have. That's why I want a Yugo.
Like
I've got everything.
Beautiful. With just like really dark, oily, you know, the teak, or I don't know if anyone's ever really figured out what kind of wood, you know, they use really, but that teak wood.
Interesting. So Rachel, so you know what's interesting with this whole StreamYard thing? There's still like little nuances to it that I haven't quite fully figured out. For instance, you know, sometimes if I share a screen and I share the audio to that screen, we'll get like a slight echo. So I'm sorry if we had one, but Rachel just made me aware of that. So I'll make sure that we try to fix that. What's weird is it's hard to share videos that stream with audio because we get this weird echo. If I kill the audio from my shared screen and just show photos, we can kind of get away with it. So I'll be sure to stay on top of that so it's not hard to watch for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, didn't you tell me there's like a feature that you can activate or turn on so that it doesn't do that?
Yeah, I basically have to kill the audio from my shared screen. Makes it hard to watch videos. And that only happens when you're sharing your desktop. If I'm sharing files that I have downloaded, I don't believe it's a problem.
Right. So if you were going to go with a underfolder, your play would be an M70 AB2.
I think so.
Did you know that you could also find an M72 with an underfolder?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, you're kind of an RPK Johnny, so
yeah,
maybe an underfolder RPK would
that'd be pretty sick. Did you see Zastava actually makes an underfolder that will bolt on to a standard M70 receiver? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, normally I would poo-poo on that kind of stuff, but to be honest with you, the way that they went about doing it using a real underfolder stock, actually I think that's probably the best way to go about doing that. And from what I've seen, they fold and everything. And you know, see, it'd be one thing if they added like an extension on the back of the receiver, then it would look goofy as shit. You know how like Arsenal does that, where you can add a triangle stock to a fixed stock, but it adds that like extra 2-3 inches of goofy adapter on the back, so it just doesn't look right.
Yeah,
So
you
they
couldn't
did
do
it
this with an
right
AK
by
then.
locating the stock in the right place. So
I feel
I'd
like
be
this is
curious
only
to know.
something that would work with an M70, just the way that stocks mount to them. I feel like they couldn't do this. They couldn't adapt an underfolder to an AK, and with the tangs, you'd have to have that big blocky adapter. So it does look kind of cool, I think.
Right.
People are asking about VZ52s. I do get asked about VZ58s a lot. VZ52, let me remind myself. Is that the little... That's the little sub gun, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone made a comment about losing your optics rail with the underfolder. And yeah, but I think, having an optics rail on your receiver is kind of a new Zastava ZPAP thing anyways, like the OG old school Yugo underfolders. I don't believe that you would have found optic rails on those receivers. Don't quote me 100%. I'm not like as sharp on the Yugo stuff. I never really went down that rabbit hole, but
yeah. Scorpion, we have dual collabs. There's a video out there on YouTube about them. They're super sick. Not the most reliable guns in the world, but they're super cool. They're just very picky and finicky.
Yeah, those are like, we could probably make a good topic about this on these live streams. Is like, all right, maybe we'll dive into this a little bit. I think this would be a good talking topic. So, of like the guns that we have in our inventory, in our SOT inventory, right, that we were like really excited about, or maybe we were neutral about, which ones exceeded your expectation? Like, oh, dude, this gun's way cooler than I thought it was going to be. And what guns were like a total fucking bust? Because for me, the VZ61 Scorpions were a fucking bust. Those were the ones that I was like, dude, we're going to have so much fun shooting those things. And they don't run for shit. And it's like, once that happens, it's like, I don't even want to touch these things anymore.
Oh, I know. They'll sit in the safe for a year before we pull them out again. That's my number one bust. That was the one that had all the hype. The video game and the club thing and the 007, I had so much hype. Bro, filming that video, and the video didn't even do that great. It took everything I had. I mean, it was just Jam City. And the worst part about it is they probably shoot some of the most expensive, hard-to-find ammo out of any of the machine guns that we have. So it was a bit of a nightmare. So that was my biggest letdown, because we had two, like Boyhood Dream achieved, and then jam after jam. And they're not the easiest jams to fix. It's like set one down, pinch it, get it fixed, pick it up. Oh, now this one jams. Set that one down.
Right.
But I think the one that
That's
really
why we had two made, so we could run around and be like...
That was the whole point. You'd get like 5 out of 1, and then this one would get full of, it would get the full 20 out. So yeah, that was a bummer. So which gun really knocked your socks off so far?
Out of the posties?
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I'm like really attached. I mean, see, I'm not gonna say these ones exceeded my expectations, but the ones that are just like, you shoot it and you walk away just kind of feeling like that was really a joy. Dude, the G36K is, I don't know, man. It's just something about, maybe just because of the high rate of fire, and it just being so different is so much fun to shoot. And I also really enjoy shooting the RPK 74.
See, that my answer is boring. Dude, the RPKs, whether it's the Romy or the 74, freaking full auto RPKs, dude, do it for me more than anything we have. It's just this big chunky gun that is pretty easy to handle. It's a major flex, especially with like the carry handle and the bipods, just lugging that thing around, stuffing a big drum in it. I have never been disappointed shooting the RPKs. They just work, and they're like, everyone stops and looks and wants to play with them and shoot them. They're just so awesome. It's like, if we talk Romy RPK, like one of the cheapest investments as far as post sample, one of the highest payoffs. So
yeah,
that was
with the
the
heavy
one.
barrel, I mean, you can really shoot the shit out of that and not really worry about it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Ooh, here's a good one. So
I will say this though, just to wrap up on that topic. If I had to only keep one, like if it was like get rid of the SOT, but there was one that you were allowed to keep for personal, I think you know which one that would be.
Yep.
What would it be?
The 74U Crink.
Yeah. The fucking Crink, dude.
It's funny, dude, and I think out of all of them, I'd probably walk away with the Romy RPK, dude. It's kind of crooked. The barrel's not populated super straight, but dude, I don't know. Just if that's the post sample I got to live with the rest of my life, I know that sucker's probably gonna last the rest of my life, and it's just guaranteed fun anytime I take it out. No problems. No, this thing's gonna be down for 6 months. There's nothing like that.
Well, I have another question for you, but I know that there was a comment that you highlighted there. We can go to that.
Hungarian AK 63D underfolder. Very cool Hungarian AK underfolder with a Taro, super light and sexy AF. The reason I highlighted that, it reminded me of a gun that I had for a little while, got rid of it, and you have some history with that gun, and I think we should find one and post sample it, and that is an AMD 60-5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with the proper barrel, the short barrel. And even if we decide to put a fixed butt stock and not that like little rinketing folding stock, like a fixed butt stock on it with the foregrip and everything, that could be a fun little blaster.
Super cool, and they just look nasty. And I remember there for a while, Kyber was actually selling modified gas tubes with slotted cheese graters to match the lower handguard. I had one. It was when we first met way back in the day. I had a super sick FEG receiver AMD 65 with the right stock, the right muzzle brake, everything. And I put that tube on with the cheese grater, and it looked so fly. And it was so different because no one was really doing that for AMD 65s, and it was such a cool look.
Yeah, I had special tooling made so that I could swedge out basically I took a full-length gas tube, cut it, and then I had a little ring made so I could swedge the end of the gas tube, but I had to heat it up and get it really hot, or else it would crack. And I used I'm trying to remember what I used, man, but I had some tooling made up, and I totally forgot about that. But yeah, there was a period of time that I was like in my garage making basically AMD 65 gas tubes because no one, like ones that took handguards. That was a fun time, dude. That was a time when I was like very hands-on making just random shit. So I wanted to go back to the question about the posties.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to say a lot of love for the RPKs. And honestly, I agree with you. If we're talking like best bang for the buck, reliable, like with big dick energy, the RPK, because you got the bipod, the AES 10B with the carry handle, pretty freaking cool. But if you had to keep just one that was not an AK, what would it be?
Oof.
And then my follow-up is, what postie do we not have in our collection? And I'm not talking minigun status, but what postie do we not have in our inventory that we should put in our inventory? And I'm going to throw this back to the people in the comments. For those of y'all who've seen a lot of the content that Clay and I have posted out there, certainly you've seen that our like full auto inventory may be lacking in one way or another. So what would your suggestion be? What do you think the next postie that you would like for us to make so that we can make some really cool content on it?
I think Smart Clay would just take an AR-15 lower, and then I could do all kinds of things. R-worded Clay would probably keep just because it's R-worded Clay would keep the Para FAL and go broke shooting the piss out of it all the time. That's what I say.
This is your keeper question. What would you keep?
Yeah, that's it. So Smart Clay would take AR-15 lower just because it's fun. R-worded Clay would keep, and this is what I would keep. I would keep one of the Para FAL posties the rest of my life. That's what I would.
Retired Clay. That's what he means. Retired.
Right. And maybe Pipe Dream one day postie. That's so freaking hard to think. Oh, I know, and I've said it 100 times. A post sample 12 gauge AK, so like a Vepr 12 posty is top of my list. One day we will have one.
I think that MSR, K-Bar still have some short barrel shotgun Vepr 12s, and I think they've got that goofy, like barrel extension on them, but I'm sure they've got the gas system dialed in for the short barrel, and that could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, as short as that barrel can go. Make that sucker.
But if we wanted to cheap out, dude, we could probably get away with one of those SDS imports. I've seen some people posty those, and I'm sure they run.
Yeah, I'm sure Cody has some old Saigas laying around too.
We got a couple PKMs on the way. We've got 2 of them coming. We have MP5s. We have a full auto FAL. It broke, but we got it fixed. Clay, I think you're due for a video on that gun.
Yeah.
Dude, I think a Mac 10 or a Mac 11 could be a lot of freaking fun.
We need a Tech 9 as well.
Dude, for sure.
Tech 9 would be super cool. And
we should talk to Kevin and Matt over at MK3 about working on one of those for us. That seems like a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Ryan commented MG3. I actually just picked up one of those MG42 59 kits with the 308 heavy bolt in it from Bowman. So we'll get that built up, but I've seen some people take those guns and do 7.62x39 conversions, and I'm definitely going to look into doing that if we go that direction. That could be fucking awesome.
Robert, thank you so much for the $5 tip. So Robert says, Tony, this might be a question for you. Why is goon tape always out of stock? Next up, Clay, you need an MPI KM to go with that flag. I cannot afford East German AKs. Sorry.
Well, I can only sell what a vendor can send here to our distribution. So I could give them a purchase order and say, send me 5,000 rolls of goon tape, and I just got to wait for them to be able to deliver that. So we would love to be able to stock goon tape more frequently. I will tell you that we have been in conversation with them about doing some exclusive collabs with Kyber Customs, and so my understanding is that is in progress. So stay tuned.
Full auto P90. That's one of those guns that seems like duh, but bro, the ammo, that's one of those guns, kind of like the Scorpions. I feel like we would do it. It would be a huge investment. We'd shoot it once, and we would get tired of buying the ammo. I feel like that's what would happen.
Yeah, a lot of people saying Tech 9. I think that's a good... Let's put that on the list. I think a Tech 9 could be pretty controversial.
Got it.
Someone born... And it's perfectly in theme.
Yes.
With some recent projects.
It's fun. It's fun like an MP5K is fun without the stock or brace or anything. Just running around hosing. Dude, that's one of those days, again, where we go to the range and we had all the MP5s. The MP5K was not on my radar at all. It didn't have a stock on it. It just had the forward grip. And we shot the balls off that thing all day, running around like a bunch of little kids, from Die Hard. It was some of the most fun I've had at the range in a long time. Super cool gun.
I think an RPD is probably another one that I'm seeing a lot of people comment about. That's kind of a no-brainer. Like, why the hell don't we have an RPD? So I say we put that on the top of the list too. And that one is one that you kind of go goo goo gaga over a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier. That is top of the list, but man, they are so expensive. Had a chance to shoot several full auto RPD, shot one suppressed, and the cool thing about them, they look so sick. You get a belt fed and you can afford the ammo. They're just it's got to be one of the coolest belt feds, easiest belt fed to live with because it shoots such a common round. That's got to be on the list, but man, they're proud of them these days.
Dude, have you seen I know like Glock, a lot of people do full auto Glocks. I think the only reason we really haven't done a full auto Glock is because we let people shoot our guns a lot, and the full auto Glocks are pretty fucking sketchy. They're just extremely fast, and it's just we've been around them. We've had our friends with them around, and that's the one fucking gun that I can honestly say that it's like, all right, I think we're gonna put that one away for the day.
Yep.
But I do think it would be cool to, you know how they have those. This is like from Broken Arrow. John Travolta had that Beretta 92 that it was the full auto Beretta and it had the little freaking foregrip on it. Dude, that would be fucking pretty dope.
Yeah, TFB TV just did a video on those. They went to Italy and they shot some real ones. They're very rare, very expensive. And I didn't realize, I just thought it was a 92 that they made go full auto, but dude, it's like a Swiss watch inside that grip, making it's 3-round burst only.
Yeah.
It's 90 Beretta 93R, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, 93R. Super sick.
Yeah.
But man, they're super complicated. I never realized that until I saw the video. Tyler Dieter, thanks for the comment, dude, and thanks for the tip. Tyler says 300 blackout crank and a PPS 43 SBR 9mm. We have a PPS 41 that runs better now. We haven't filmed it yet. A 300 blackout crank actually would be pretty smart. The short barrel, it would be pretty dope. It would be.
Yeah, but with the price of kits, you know, who wants to fuck one of those up right now?
Yeah, for real. Hey, Tyler, thanks again for the tip, my man.
But that being said, you know, like I predict that we'll probably see a lot of hybrids out there with the popularity of the M92, the popularity of the Draco, and then you've also got the mini barrel. Like, we're getting really close to finally coming out with a shorter gas system, and someone's going to end up putting it on a triangle stock receiver. And when that happens, we're going to have pretty close to, you know, AKS 74U crank.
Ryan,
how about a Swiss 553R postie? We
Swiss
have
553. Yeah. Ooh,
we have a couple of those in progress right now.
I don't think that's been done before. Tony, have you ever seen one go full auto?
So, are you talking about the 556R?
The 5.5. Yeah, the 7.62 that takes AK max.
Right. So the 556R, I've never seen one full auto before, and ours is in progress. And so when ours is done, I believe it will be the only one I've ever seen. But we also have a 553. It's technically it's one of their I want to say it's a 556 SBR that we're converting into a 553 clone. Like, it'll take rock and lock mags.
Yeah, it's the cheapest way to have a 5.53 to start with the American 5.56,
right?
With the shorter gas system, but it's still going to have a longer barrel. It's the cheapest way to have that modified into what you want.
That's what we're doing. We have that and a 5.56R postie that we're working on right now.
Ryan, $5 tip, man. You guys are freaking killing me over here. So Ryan says, I have an 80s Bulgy AKS 74. Kind of want to combo block it. Kind of 105 it, but I would feel bad to cut an OG barrel. I do have a virgin barrel also. Bro, something like that, I say build it as close to factory as possible, especially these days, dude. I wouldn't do anything custom with that at all. I don't know if you agree, Tony.
I mean, if you have a spare virgin barrel, then why not be the guy that drives his Z06 Corvette like a bat out of hell, right? I mean, you could also make an argument for, you know, there's a reason only few people would do that, and it's people with the biggest set of balls to do it. So you could be that person too.
This is coming from a guy that post-sampled a factory barrel Russian RPK 74. Still don't agree with it, but he did it. So yeah, man, ball out. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Let's see.
I mean, you got YOLO, right? YOLO. Just fucking do it.
Bro, you know, such a good point. In the AK world, so many guys have 30 dusty old AKs that are super rare and they never shoot them, and it's you know, I guess there's dudes that are into that, but you know, I mean, there's a certain part of collecting that I don't fully understand. And I know I'm the minority here, though, dude, but some of these, like, Ferrari-ass AKs, these really rare things, I'm not the guy that should buy that stuff because I'm going to shoot them. I know I'm going to shoot them. I'm going to take the value of them down because I'm going to put rounds through them. I just can't not shoot them. Modifying them, though, I don't know about that. But I would shoot the piss out of them for sure.
Yeah, and look, let's just be honest here. You're gonna buy a rifle, you're gonna pay like $1,400 for it, and then you're gonna sit on it for what, 5-10 years, and you're gonna sell it for a couple $100 more than you paid. Ooh, it's like, all right, you covered your water bill for a couple months. Like, who gives a shit? You should like literally have that gun exactly the way you would run it if you didn't have to pay for it. Like, how would you do it? That's how you should do it.
Yeah, agreed. Ryan says, my dad worked for SIG back in the day, and the 550 series rifles were awesome, dude. That's pretty rad. 550s are super sick. Love that variant of gun, dude. Freaking SIGs, dude. They're so dope. Such cool guns.
The Intrepid Animator's asking, yo guys, what's the stupidest firearm that you both just adore, even though it's got to be the biggest meme, dumbest gun imaginable?
The stupidest firearm that we adore, even though it's dumb.
I can tell you there's one that's really cool, but it's a big piece of shit, and it's the Spaz 12.
Oh, bro, I was just about to say that. And it's funny that Grantham just released the video, and as he's, you know, doing the opening scene, I'm thinking to myself, bro, when I shot Tony's, I hated it. Like, it's so cool to look at, but it is a son of a bitch to run.
But
and
dude,
he confirmed that in the video, that it is very weird.
if you want to make a really good clickbait movie, or clickbait video, sorry, take my Spaz 12 out, because my Spaz 12 has the little paddle safety that was recalled. And so I haven't done this, but I think other people have done it before, but you're supposed to be able to push that safety in and out of safe, and the gun will go off. And that would be a really good kind of clickbait video, because a lot of people took those Spaz 12s and they did the recall service on them. They took the paddle safety off and put those crossbolt safeties. So when I bought my Spaz 12, I bought 3 of them at one time. One was the original folder with the original paddle safety. The other one was a folder with the crossbolt safety. And then the third one was the fixed stock. And I sold the crossbolt safety and I sold the fixed stock to Steven, and I kept the original. And everyone's like, dude, the paddle safety with the original paddle safety, those are the ones that like are keepers. But it would make a great clickbait video.
It's funny that the keeper is like the most unsafe one, just because not many survived all the changes.
Someone said street sweeper. Dude, we really ought to have one of those too. That would be a fucking sick video to make content with.
We need some 40 Mike stuff too. We need to like launch chalk grenades.
Yeah.
That would be super sick.
We should reach out to LMT and see if we can, you know, get them out at future events and maybe even try to get some inventory from them.
Yeah, I was drooling over their booth at SHOT Show. They had a bunch of that stuff. It was super sick. K Fez, USMC, thanks for the tip, bro. He says PWS, Mark III, and 7.62. Dude, I'm told those are like the only 7.62 ARs to buy, and I've shot just about all of them now. And they're not all 100% reliable, but most people are saying PWS is where it's at. I'm actually going to borrow one here in a couple weeks for review. So, K-Fez, you're in for a treat, my man. Thanks for the tip. What do we have here? Glorified Weasel, thanks for the tip, dog. Hey, you guys do not have to tip, by the way, but it is greatly appreciated. 65 Grendel Vepr is awesome. 1.5 MOA with crap ammo. Man, you know, Tony was just talking about, you know, back in the day, circa like 2015, 2016, even before, when Veprs were everywhere and a bunch of weird calibers. Dude, what a weird time to be into AKs. You had 308 Veprs, 223, 545, 7.62 by 39, 6.5. They had, what did they have? They had like a M1 Garand. What is that caliber? I'm smoking crack right now. Help me out with the comments. M1 Garand, what's the caliber? Drawing a major brain fart here.
30-06?
30-06, dummy. They had 30-06 Veprs. All that cool stuff. Those days are gone, man.
I've seen a couple people comment about like 6.5 Grendel AKs. Do we think that they'll ever take off or anything like that? No, but I think that a 6.5 Grendel Vepr, like the ones that have the wood stocks on them and shit like that, those can still probably be had for a good price if you are just kind of shopping. Like if I came across a 6.5 Grendel Vepr for under a G, like maybe in like the 700s, 800s, I'd probably snatch one up, and that would make a really nice like coyote or hog gun for just kind of fucking around. Like that would be a lot of fun, but I wouldn't go out of my way and have one built up and spend over $2,000 for a 6.5 Grindle AK.
Yeah, and the mags. I mean, you're probably only ever going to have the mag it comes with, honestly. I don't know where you're going to find spare mags. Oh, here's a good comment. I'd still own a gold M70 if I could. Bro, one of these days we're going to have to gold plate something.
Well, we have a gold-plated Galil Mar.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, well, it's tin-coated, but yeah.
It's crazy. When you see like Mario's gold-plated AK up close, it just, like, dudes are attracted to things. And I'm attracted to
I think I saw Mario in the
It's
comments.
Unbelievable. Is he in the comments? Yeah, Mario has a beautiful 24 karat gold-plated AK that he ran at Red October and beat the brakes off of a lot of dudes with it. People that said you'd never shoot that. He is like smoking dudes at competitions with it on iron sights. That dude has no chill, man. It's just another thing just about being into guns. Like before, I'm worried about this dude ruining I'm worried about this dude modifying a really rare kit, yet I'm talking about gold plating AKs. Ball out, man. Treat yourself. Do dumb stuff. Spend all your money.
Yeah, I mean, you want to look back, like when you're an old person, right? And you're like, you realize you're like living kind of your last few weeks, days, whatever, right? You don't want to like look back and go, gosh, I wish I would have done this or done that. You want to look back and go, can I just press rewind and play again and just do it all over again? That's the life, you know? Not to get too philosophical with y'all, but I don't know. I feel that way about guns sometimes. It's like I really could care less about preserving, you know, or owning guns that I literally can't do anything with and I just need to preserve them. It's not, it just doesn't feel right to me. I'd rather go out there and be that one guy that's like shooting the shit out of that gun.
There's Mario right there. Mario just built a 6.5 RPK. Very interesting. I think I know the backstory on that gun. But yeah. Very sick.
That could make like a really cool DMR type setup.
Mm-hmm. Super Geo Killer, my man. We like this guy. Tipping with the... So it's funny. It's become like common for you guys to tip rifle calibers. Not complaining. Super sick. I would give you guys a Saiga 223 Sporter to make full turbo, but it must stay a Sporter because who's done that? Dude, what a great idea.
Dude, that's a great idea.
Don't even move the trigger. Don't move the trigger up. Nothing. That would be so funny. Oh, what a great idea, dude.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. We'd have to. I'm sure we know someone who can do it, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if that would work. Dude, it couldn't work with the trigger moved back. Someone could figure that out.
You know, the money. If anything, it can probably be made into a full-time full auto gun. It may not be select fire with that trigger group, but with the Monte Carlo stock and the goofy fucking, you know, plastic front end and like the basically non-threaded barrel on the front.
What a great idea. I'm writing that down.
I think it's about time that, Clay, you do a couple of these like fake clickbait videos where you posty a gun like that and we're like, hey, look at me. My gun's broke. That's a really good idea, Super Geo Killer.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for that. I wrote that down. That means
is that Dylan?
I believe that is Dylan.
Yeah. The name, I know that name has been in live streams before. I'm pretty sure that's Dylan.
Yeah, people are down with the Mac 10s too. Mac 10 would be cool because then we open ourselves up to all the Lage aftermarket parts. Mm-hmm. There's a whole world of aftermarket stuff for guys with transferable Macs.
Hey, it would be cool to post you one of those, like with the big goofy stocks in the rear.
Yeah.
Like, what was that one gun? That WUM?
WUM. I'll put like a thumbhole stock on a Mac 10.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, well.
So compliant.
We threw this idea around of like posting a gun and putting all Tapco furniture on it, making it like the cringiest fucking gun ever, making it full auto. Like we should have one of those like long range scopes with like the laser on top and just be like running around.
Bro, when collectors did their Black Friday sale, they had all the guns on their website listed that were going to be for sale. Under AKs, they had an SKS that had, dude, I'm talking a scope riser about this long, black polymer stock, some goofy 30 round AK mag, a huge muzzle brake. It had been bubbed all to hell, and it was in the AK section. And dude, they wanted like $500 for it. I got there when the door was open, and it was one of the first guns that got purchased. I'm like, there's our freaking Bubba. There's our Bubba blaster right there, and I couldn't get there in time.
We need to follow up with John at M13 because I was talking to him and I'm like, I know you got a bucket full of the worst accessories for an AK, and I need them all. I need the whole, like the worst of the worst of the worst, and send them to us.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely have to do that.
Someone said, whatever happened to Evocatus? They were talking about coming out with their 6.5 Grindle AK. I mean, I follow them on Instagram. I see them talk about it all the time. I don't know if it ever came to be.
The question is what were they using for like a bolt and trunnion? Were they building these on 7.62 kits or were they having their own? I don't even remember, but most likely the Evocatus, I'm sure Jeremy's still, doing one-off builds and doing custom builds and stuff like that. But for a lot of these builders, just getting all of the core host parts, like the carriers, bolts, trunnions, and all that stuff's getting really pricey and hard to get.
Do you remember this? I sent you a link, the brass knuckle pistol grip.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly
we really need to follow
need.
through with that build and get that done, because that will be very clickbait.
Oh, by the way, not to change the subject, but I got to do a bit of a third pin pitch here. Is that cool with everyone? It'll take just a minute, man. Just a quick second.
You got a pitch? Sales pitch?
Let's see here. Actually, let me make sure that I'm fixing the audio here. Should be okay. Let me know if we have a weird echo. I'm not going to share the audio, so we should be okay this time. In case you guys didn't know, we have dad hats now. Super cool dad hats.
Limited inventory, like buy once, get it over with, because once these are gone, we're probably not bringing these exact ones back. These are a limited thing.
Yep. Hey, Rachel, by the way, if you're in the next room, let me know if we have the echo, but I think I just fixed it. These hats are thick, dude. Like thick 80s trucker dad hats. Do what?
Oh, and they're on sale. We marked them down for end of the year too. I think they're like 16 or 17 bucks.
This reminds me of like an old Pepsi's can or like an old beer can from the 80s. Like this is probably one of my favorites. And then that ain't all. We got the Bake Hunter hat, dude. Could you see yourself sitting at a deer blind, not seeing nothing? Not seeing nothing, falling asleep, but this hat's just so freaking comfy, dude. And it blends in, and it's got some orange on it so the other hunters don't dome you by accident. Like this, it's got it all for you hunters, dude. I'm all
that hat just makes me think of like sitting at Whataburger on a Sunday afternoon with all the old guys hanging out. It's like their weekly routine.
Yeah, you get like at 6 a.m. all eating
talking
donuts
about all
every
that
morning.
Puss you've been smashing, for all those decades.
And they're like, "Oh, look, trouble just walked in." When like the one guy's late.
Hey, they let you in here?
Yeah, they'll let anybody in here.
Yeah.
This seems to be the fan favorite. Crink outlines on a floppy dad hat. These aren't floppy. These hold really good bodies. They don't kind of depress like some of the floppiest of dad hats. These are super nostalgia, early 90s, late 80s trucker hats, dude. Definitely brings back memories, man. My grandpa used to wear hats like these. And this reminds me of like the Hooters logo. Like I would wear this to a Hooters in the late 80s. You know what I mean? Take your girlfriend on a date to Hooters. These hats are thick, dude.
Yeah, they're like super soft, and they've got a little sweatband inside of them too. It's like a fabric sweatband. They're pretty OG. They're super comfortable.
I got one more hat here for you. Let me know what you think about it.
Thick.
Those hats are thick. Dude, somebody did Michiko so dirty. So, he posted a video a few days ago, and his thumbnail, I don't know who's picking his thumbnails. As we all know, Misha is blind, so someone's picking his thumbnail. Someone did him dirty. He's like holding it. This is literally his thumbnail. Someone's obviously put his friend in his reflection there, but somebody did Michiko dirty, and the memes have been glorious. But we love Misha, dude. We love the guy. This is so freaking funny.
You can't be a legend without being memed at some point.
Look how they massacred my boy. Oh, man.
Someone's asking if we use Richardson hats on the regular truckers, like these style ones.
We do. Those are not as thick, so I don't know if Michiko would be into those. But
the foam hats aren't Richardson. I don't know.
The foam
manufacturer is.
Misha agrees. Thick. Bro, someone did him dirty. Because, you know, he doesn't know what his thumbnails look like. Dude, the poor freaking guy, dude. He's like holding an AK with that face. Oh, man.
It's, you know, sometimes those memes just come to you like you're watching a video and you see it and it makes you think, and that light bulb strikes the tip of your penis and you're like, I just pretty much spotted a meme out of nowhere.
Dude, I wish I would have saved him. A Facebook thread took off over that picture, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm taxing every single one of these. Poor guy. Yeah, I agree. Michiko needs a hat. Dude, if I could get Michiko to wear a hat in the video, that would be like a dream come true. That would be so cool.
Let's hook it up.
Yeah. He and I emailed back and forth months ago. But man, so much time has passed. It's been difficult to keep in touch with him, but I will try again.
All right, let me ask you a question, dude. So, talking about collabs, right? Mm-hmm. My question for you is, who are your top 2 gun industry people that you think would make an interesting collab? And don't go for the easy gimmies like Misha. You already said it'd be cool to do something there, but like, think outside of the box here on who would be kind of fun to do a collab with in the gun industry. And then my next question is, what would be top 2 YouTube collabs that are not mainly firearm channels that you would like to collab with?
So you're saying who in the gun industry outside the box would be cool to collab with? And then secondly, who would it be cool to collab with outside of the gun industry?
Right. Like, don't say like Michiko or Grand Thumb. Like, pick something a little more creative. My dog's over here growling in his sleep. He's having a dream.
Something outside of the box. You know what would be really cool, but I don't think he would ever do it with anyone. And this
Operators Union?
No. That's ain't up to me, guys, but that ain't never gonna happen. No, but you know what would be super cool? Dude. We all remember FPS Russia was like the king of gun content, and now he doesn't do anything gun related anymore, and got in trouble. I don't know if he's like legally not allowed to be around guns anymore, but man, it would be super cool to get him on camera doing gun stuff again. That would be super dope. But I think that whole life is past him now. That'd be cool for him to come out of retirement, dude. So I know, Dugan Ashley came out of retirement a couple times and filmed on a couple of channels. This is, Carnicon, like the best gun content ever put on YouTube, hands down, was Carnicon. He's got his health problems and went through a rough patch. He pops up on like random YouTube channels where the names don't make any sense and you never know when he's ever gonna make a video. They don't get many views. But man, if he was or is well, it would be super cool to hang out with him and talk to him and get to film with him. But I don't think that's possible either. Outside the gun world, man, in my head, I'm thinking something car related. Man, who hasn't been collabed with?
While you're thinking of that one, I think a kind of a cool one that's gun community, but totally thinking outside the box. Mark Novak. You ever watch any of his stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be cool to send him, you know, maybe something like one of these old ass guns that's kind of gotten crusty and stuff, and you know, have him do a video where he talks in his voice and kind of does his workflow on like a really cool AK. You know, it could be like, you know, maybe like the Mahdi or something like that, or the Crink, you know, and have him, you know, take a look at the bolt and the, you know, trunnion and be like, this gun's definitely had thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through it.
I see a bunch of people touching on like all like the big card channels, and yeah, Cletus obviously, but trying to think outside the box here. That's so hard to say because I watch a lot of like big name brand channels.
Who are what is a YouTube channel that you recently found out that they're local or like close enough that like meeting up for a collab would be pretty possible, gun or non-gun, and that might be a creative collaboration opportunity.
Some people in the comments might have heard of Will Scary. It's another amazing AK content channel. Found out he's in Dallas. We've talked a little bit.
Yeah.
He's very shy, doesn't like to be on camera with like people he doesn't fully know very well, and he's very honest about that. But Will Scary is, you know, 3 hours away, and we've talked a lot about collabing. Talked with Michiko about collabing. That's just obviously very difficult. Doesn't live anywhere near here. 9-hole reviews is extremely close, and we've showed up on a couple of his videos, but I would love to do like a full-on video with those guys. We've even borrowed some of their guns for videos, but they're very local. We shoot at the same range.
I think it's time for you and Calvin to do a collab.
Calvin's also in Dallas, Firepower United, Fuklong.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't really go into that character much anymore. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I don't see him do that anymore. I'm sure he's explained why, you know, at some point, but I think that it's time that we reach out outside of the gun community a little bit and invite some of our YouTube friends that aren't necessarily gun people to come shoot guns with us and open up some opportunity.
Yeah, you know, 1320's in town. 1320's based out of Houston, Texas. Or at least they started here. I'm pretty sure they're all still out here. A lot of the 1320 videos were filmed like on Beltway 8 right here in Houston. All that high-speed roll racing with exotics. It'd be super cool to get some of those dudes out on some guns, and maybe they could take us out and do some of that cool street racing in Mexico.
Hey, is there anybody in the comments who's who's a musician? Like, do y'all play instruments? Is there anybody who's watching in the comments that maybe plays guitar, drums, like you name it, does music production or whatever? Pat McAfee, Joe Rogan. Oh yeah. There's all these comedians that are now moving here to Texas.
Dude, I'll tell you a pipe dream. I'm a huge Tom Segura fan. I talk about Your Mom's House constantly. Love, and I know Kalash Kamaz. There's a few of you guys that are probably mom jeans in the comments. Holla at me if you're a gene. It would be so cool. I know Tom Segura is okay with guns. He showed up at the Terran Tactical thing. He's done the whole thing. So I know he's not totally opposed to it. He's in Austin. Like a lot of comedians are all moving to Austin, Texas. It would be super cool to do some content with some like big name comedians. Tom Segura being top of my list right now. That would be super rad.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of those guys went and shot with Terran and they did stuff like that. So you know that they're already
Burt Kreischer shot with Terran.
Right. So there's definitely, I mean, we would need to have like a opportunity, like a place where it would be kind of set up, but
I touched a piano once. I broke it.
For those of y'all that are into music stuff, check this out. I'm going to give y'all a little preview or a little shot of what's going on back here. There's a couple guitars in the corner and then my V drums right there. This
Are
is my
people
little music studio.
are people allowed to touch your drum set?
You can put your balls on my drum set. As long as you can really play them, then you're good.
Hey, while
Clay
we're
and
on
I
the,
were in here jamming a week or so ago.
yeah, dude, that was fun. We're on the topic of music. There's a new
If you
group.
would love to see a jam session with Clay and I, and maybe we add a third member of the band, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, like a hype man, like a Flavor Flav.
Dude.
Yeah. Just like power walking through the room, just hyping it up. Yeah, boy. So, on that topic, dude, I heard that there's like this new, I don't know if you're into like rap music. There's like this new album out. I don't know if you've heard of it. Let me share my screen here. You heard of these guys?
You should zoom in a little bit. Check out this there we go.
Dog.
Kyber Customs and Clayco 420.
Buy before the ban. I don't know, bro. I'm hearing a lot of talk about this new album.
It's pretty good. There's a lot of like really fat beats in it. I'll tell you that much.
The fattest, the hardest bass. It's pretty cool, dude. Recorded right here in San Antonio, Texas, recently. I think it's on SoundCloud. Yeah, it says right here, SoundCloud, track number 1, Waffle Stomp.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Someone says, I bought their CD out of their trunk. It was all scratched to shit.
Yeah.
I told you we should have went with the tapes, dude.
Yeah.
Would have been way better.
You can we've all like walked. You could see this dude like chilling, going, hey man, can I get a cigarette? Hey, y'all want to buy these CDs?
Here's where it gets really interesting. So, like Clay and I, in the very near future, if we wanted to, we could come here to Burger. This is called Burger Boy Studios, where I'm at. It's my dog. It's like my dog is basically guarding this shit. But Clay and I could literally come in here and record fucking songs. The whole thing. Like I've got my laptop and a keyboard and monitor speakers and a way to record guitars and drums. We could literally come in here and lay down some pretty gnarly tracks. I told Clay, I was like, let's just start doing our own music for YouTube. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm writing down name ideas. I like Waffle Stomp. I like track 2, Ladyboy. That's a good one. Sometimes all you need is a good name, and that's like a great start to a song.
We should have a song called like Smokin' Cosmo. Sniffin' Cosmo.
Yeah, you got to freebase it.
Yep. So I have a real question for the group out here. This is like a kind of an idea that I've had that I've shared with Clay, and we've kind of thrown it around a couple times. I think we both think it's a good idea, but I think there's still some thought that needs to be put into it. But I think it could be really cool. But what would y'all think about if Clay and I, because Clay and I are business partners in Third Pin Threads, so we're both part owners of that company, and we're like thinking creatively on, where can we go with Third Pin that like maybe other apparel brands don't really go outside of just selling t-shirts and hats? Like, how would y'all feel about if Clay and I started assembling a shooting team under Third Pin Threads? And it's like, we're not talking about like, the people who are already out there being sponsored by Federal and, by the big companies out there, but like regular homeboys that we like hang out with and shoot with, that spend time on social media. They're spending time on their craft, of like competitive shooting and doing stuff like that. But it could also be just like really cool people that like shooting and like making content. Like, would it be cool if Clay and I started our own shooting team under Third Pin Threads?
We've had this conversation a lot with high-level competitive shooters. In my mind, I'm always thinking about content, what catches people's eyes, obviously with what we're doing here. It's funny because you'll see highly talented shooters that are sponsored by big brands, Vortex, Colt, Primary Arms, PWS, shit, who else? Staccato, all these guys. I mean, pick a big brand. A lot of these people, they really just want to sponsor someone that's going to win and take podium. That way they can say, we sponsor high-level shooters, and they're only winning because they're using our stuff. And because of that, you'll buy our stuff, and you'll be just like them. You'll be really good at shooting. On the other hand, it's funny, if you do watch a lot of these guys that shoot at such a high level, and their jerseys are covered with stickers, their Instagrams, the content that they film to hopefully promote those sponsors, it always usually kind of bombs, because it's kind of boring. I've always likened it to watching NASCAR with like no announcers and no music, no nothing, no context. It's just cars driving in circles with sponsors. Everyone's kind of the same. They all shoot the same stuff. They're all about the same speed. It just is what it is. So when we talk about a shooting team, like I want these dudes rocking Pit Vipers. I want these dudes rocking Davronov chest rigs with wool straps and leather pockets. I want these dudes, like, think about Possum out there, let's fucking go, as he's shooting his gun, just like making everybody nervous. But his energy is through the freaking roof, and it's getting everyone hyped up around him, and they stop watching the guy that's like crushing it like he always does, and they're all looking to see what Possum's doing. And they see third pin threads on his shirt. They see Kyber Customs. They see the Clayco logo. They see the Kalash Bash logo. Mm-hmm. That's who I would be paying attention to, because it's fun and it makes shooting look really freaking fun. And I would pay attention to his sponsors. Not a lot of that's kind of a new concept with sponsoring shooters. Not a lot of people are doing that at all.
Right. And I think that like there's a lot of layers here, right? Like there's a culture, right? Not to be too like pretentious or like, you know, but at the end of the day, like we're about having fun. There does need to be some, like there needs to be some qualifiers, like, you know, don't necessarily need to be the guy that takes first place, but there still needs to be like a competitive aspect to it where someone's motivated to shoot better. Because to me, what would be so cool would be to like put someone on the team who's like a middle of the field type shooter, and within our group we're like coaching and mentoring each other, and we're like bringing in people like to me, somebody I see that would be like on like the original board of, you know, like in the original committee of this thing would be someone like Mario, right?
Yes.
Like he
perfect example.
Possesses all of like our core values, our culture. He's already a part of our wolf pack, but he also brings a lot to the table in the form of mentorship, whether it be, you know, advice on how to build, or, you know, advice on shooting. And then we can kind of use that as a team. And you can look at the content, like let's say 2 years later, you look and it's like, dude, Tony went from being bottom of the field to being like a top 20 shooter. Clay went from being like a top shooter to whatever. Here's some middle of the field guys that joined the third pin shooting team. And just through that positive energy and that mentorship as a exclusive kind of group, like not only are they making really cool content, but they're getting better as shooters and, you know, inspiring other people to want to get into it and all that other, you know, kind of cheesy bullshit.
Imagine if this guy was your sponsored shooter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone stops and watches this. If the guy behind him or in front of him had a jersey full of sponsored logos, full of them, and is very surgical, you know, he's got like a 3-gun AR, JP, like everyone runs, you know, 1911, 2011, whatever. Does really well? Yeah, of course he does. But then you see this dude walk up. For one, you're not expecting him to do well. Let's be honest. Mario, like you wouldn't expect this dude to smoke this stage with this gold-plated AK like he's doing right now. Mm-hmm. But he's running a chest rig that is not fast compared to modern-day mag retention. He's running an AK, which is not fast compared to modern-day AR-15s, and stole the freaking show and is good. That it's just like the comment I have highlighted, the motley crew of a 3-gun team. That's exactly
right. And look, like Mario, he takes that competition, that match, he took serious enough that, you know, he put forth the effort. But if he really wanted to smoke, he would have ran a G-code belt, right? Like he would have ran different gear. So there's still like it's like a perfect harmony of we're out here, like, we're good enough that we can shoot better than most because we're practicing a lot and we're shooting a lot. But we're more importantly, we're having fun that all those like high level shooters are not having. You know, it's like way too competitive that they're not able to have fun. Like, dude, I think this would be a lot of fun. And you know what we could do, Clay? We could do it kind of like a motorcycle gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what we could do is we could have like, we could basically establish like an original wolf pack, kind of like what we have. Like, we already have a wolf pack. Someone asked earlier, wait, you have a wolf pack? Yeah, we do. We have like the Ashleys and the Marios, like our original wolf pack that kind of harness the culture of what we're doing, right? And then we can add people to the shooting team as like a prospect, where it's like for the next year, like you get swagged out, you know, you'll get some shout outs and you get to like really kind of prove yourself as, you know, potentially being a part of the shooting team. And then at the end of that prospecting period, there's like a vote, you know, and then it goes from there. And that would open up a lot of opportunity for people to be able to prospect for a year, you know, and like to kind of expand the team a little bit.
Here's another great example. Sweet Dick Diaz, Jose.
Mm-hmm.
My man has gotten extremely good. And look, the dude dresses freaking fly at 3-gun matches. I mean, this dude's running around usually with cut-off jean shorts, running cowboy boots, shooting matches, and he's smoking people. That's the kind of energy that I want on a third pin thread shooting team. That energy right freaking there, dude.
And dude, like, let's say you pick up like a couple vendors that help sponsor the cause, like Davrinoff. That guy can do more than make chest rigs, you know that. So if we wanted to, let's say that we partnered with someone like Davrinoff and said, hey, look, when we bring on a new shooter onto our team, they get a custom rig, right, from Davrinoff. That's like a one of a kind, but it has like our team, you know, I guess artwork or our trying to think of the right word here, but our team flair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I'm pretty sure like for the right people, you could convince a guy like him to make like a leather cut, like make something like really fucking dope. That's like, you can't buy that from him. You know, you only get one under this certain set of circumstances. And then what if like, you know, there's also a level of shooter where it's like when you make it up onto like the highest tier, like we give you a custom gun. Like this is like this is your custom gun. Like how sick would that be, man? That would be so much fun.
Yeah, for sure. Here's
All
another
right, I'll leave
one.
it at that. I hope that y'all enjoyed hearing that because I've been throwing that idea around with Clay for a while that I think that at some point that would be a really fun thing to do. It'd be expensive, but I think it would pay off in a big way. Someone said earlier, like a shooting team of the people, that would be pretty wild.
And another big thing there is not that these dudes couldn't get sponsored purely based on their skill. Everyone that I've shown so far is highly skilled at shooting, but they're not, you know, they don't have the big name vendors beating down their door like they should. Why people aren't paying attention to them, I don't know. But people like that now could have an opportunity to be on a shooting team, to have legitimate sponsors on their jersey, to have some super sick jerseys and some gear done. Guys like Mario, Jose, this gentleman here, Bolts and Holes, another great shooter that has awesome big dick energy when he shoots. Super entertaining. Love this freaking dude. These are the types of dudes that probably could not pick up big brand sponsorship. They just, I don't know why, they couldn't do it. Now they have an opportunity. At least that would be so cool to provide to dudes like this that put in the effort, they put in the work, and they have that energy level. And they've got that magnetism, they've got the look, everything.
Yeah.
They get to be on the Motley Crew.
And I like the idea of having them prospect for a certain period of time so we can really truly sniff them out and make sure that they're like a good fit, you know? It's like really get to know these people. We could even fly them out and say, hey, look, like in order to be a part of the team, you got to take like a 3-day weekend and fly out and do content with us. Like we're going to shoot with you. We're going to haze your ass, right? Someone said no ex-porn stars.
Why would you say
all
that?
I'm gonna say is don't let one really shitty one ruin it for the rest.
Okay. I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Smash time, my man. 762. Thank you for that. Smash time is in the house and he's throwing money around like it means nothing to him. This guy's made of money.
It's not a gang, bro.
Yeah. What void in your life would you say this gang fills? Wait, my favorite question. Why do they call you the Tadla?
He's like, you calling me a rat, bro?
It's like, no, it's in my notes. It's what I have. It's an expose.
It's an expose. I just read the questions.
But yeah, man, that's another. I know we always talk about KB, but that's one kind of a good thing at KB. You have all these big brands out there seeing some shooters that they probably would never see, because a lot of these big brands, usually they're only going to like big 3-gun events or like USPSA events, and they're only seeing like the cream of the crop as far as super high level shooters that are already like dripping with sponsors. Shooting matches like KB and maybe other things of the sort do expose you, if you are a good shooter, to vendors that probably never would have had a chance to see you in action. So you have guys like Mario and Jose and Bolts and Holes that are coming out, and they are, slinging their PP around in front of all these vendors that never seen them before. And now they know that these dudes are good. Just another good reason to go to that kind of stuff. Maybe you get noticed if being a sponsored shooter is an aspiration of yours. That's the only way that happens. It's being around these guys.
It seems like something that we should do, and I think we could have a lot of fun with it. Like, a lot of fun with it. And remember how you were telling me that there's YouTube channels where there's like different people that contribute content to it?
Yep.
Right? So like one guy can film a video on whatever, and it's like you just kind of submit content, and I'm guessing it goes to like a main editor, and that main editor approves it and says, okay, we're gonna put this on the main channel. I don't know really how it works, but that could be a lot of fun. Remember we've talked about some really good ideas on ways that people can mail us stuff, and we can do right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would be interesting?
Send us your tapes.
Right. No, I mean, dude, you could do this on your channel where it's like, I'm going to pick 3 people to share their content on a video. Send me your videos, right? Like, this is the criteria. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be you shooting a stage. It could be like, send me a funny video of whatever, and I'll pick the best one and put it on my YouTube channel. We could do fun stuff like that too. Like, someone's asking about tryouts. Like, we could literally like do like a recruiting recruiting period where people send videos and we share them.
We could have like our own combine.
Yeah.
Everyone show up to this range at this date. We're only picking
dude. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like, dude.
A tryout, and we post it like 6 months in advance, and it's like, the range is free. You don't have to, you bring your gun and your ammo. You got to check in and register ahead of time so we know you're coming. And this is like tryouts. Oh, dude, that could be a lot of fun. Yeah, bro.
The Comblock Combine, the Kalash Combine, Third Threads Combine. That'd be super cool.
And it's like everyone has to go up on stage and like tell jokes for like 3 minutes, right?
It's like, dude, imagine they show up and it's like, all right, we're going to shoot out to 200. Next stage is Borat impressions. After that is AK teardowns.
Oh,
like, can you imagine literally a panel of judges and the guy's like, oh, wah, and they're just like,
I have a chair. You do
I have a chair.
Oh man, that would just be so much fun, dude.
So good, dude. AK Johnny's got it right, dude. He said, forget sponsoring, even though it helps a ton, but being able to compete with a team backing you is golden. There's nothing like a squad. I'm a firm believer in that, dude. There's nothing like having a squad of dudes. Imagine you make this team, if you will, if it ever happens. But imagine there's like 3 or 4 of you,
It's going to happen, y'all. I'm not going to let him weasel out of it. We're definitely going to fucking do it.
Imagine like the third pin squad, right? You guys are all traveling together. You're getting to the same match. You're all squatting up together. Dude, there's something kind of cool about slow rolling. Like, all 4, you're all geared up, like, showing up on the scene. Everyone's like, oh, shit, freaking third pin dudes are here. Like, you guys are You can hear the Borat impressions from a mile away. These freaking third pin dudes are here. And they're rolling up on a stage, and they're like hyping each other up, just like catcalling, playing grab ass, and then they crush when it's time to shoot. And dude, there would be nothing like that shooting with a squad of people like that. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, we have to do it. Like there's something legendary. Just talking about it and seeing the people commenting about it is like, it just seems like the right thing to do. We should do this.
Well, we're getting close to an hour and a half in the stream, so why don't we turn it over to the comments a little bit. Let's answer some questions, and then we can put these baby birds to bed. But man, have we touched on some good shit tonight. Mm-hmm. Really good stuff.
Hey, someone keeps asking about the Sons of Liberty thing, and I just want you to know we're not blowing you off, but there's an announcement, and we're going to be making that announcement on Sunday. So just on Sunday, it'll be like Sunday evening. Just keep your eyes open, and we're going to be answering a lot of questions. And all I'm going to say is this is super, 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 super exciting. So
I don't know what Tony's talking about, honestly.
Well, we did post 12/11. We did say something's happening on the 11th.
Oh, that's the background. That's what. Okay, I thought that was okay. I guess that means something. Well, cool. All right, let's see. Thoughts on a Zastava M21. Tony, do you know what that is?
Is that gun that Scott? It's like that little short barrel Zastava. I think Scott built one. I think that's what he's talking about.
The M21. That's the 5.56 military variant. I think that's what that is. The M21. TFB TV just did a video about it. I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Bowman had one of these as a parts kit, and man, I thought about picking it up because the price was good.
They look really cool. Super cool.
RS Regulate. Scott at RS Regulate.
He has one. Yeah, those are super sick. I didn't know much about him until TFB filmed with him.
I should have snatched up that kit. That would have been a fun gun to have built up.
Super Geo Killer. Best place to have an M64 Yugo re-welded. Halcyon Defense, M13, CW. All those guys can do re-welds.
Mine was done by, I'll have to try to remember his name. I always forget this dude's name, but some dude up in Pennsylvania that's very well known for re-welds. I bought the gun already done off another person.
Any reviews coming for 5.56 AKs from PSA? I'm actually working on my very first PSA rifle review as we speak. It is not a 5.56, but we're getting there. This review's taking a little while, but we're getting there. I wouldn't mind reviewing one of their 5.56 AKs. Maybe I can bug them. Maybe I can twist their arm, and maybe they'll send me one. I want them to cherry pick it so it doesn't go down on camera. That's what I really want to happen.
Someone commented Molotov goodies. I just want y'all to know that Molotov Manufacturing will be making its debut in about a week and a half, 2 weeks on the Kyber Customs website. So thank you for asking. And I'm already starting to work on getting some content to create some awareness about this new brand. So thank you.
Someone sent me a message. They watched the Kalashnikov video where the fellow that runs it comes up and snatches your crink and then and does a mag dump on camera. Someone told me they just freaking died when that happened. That was dude, that was Matt?
Matt,
that's right.
Right. It was like he was hey, you got to pay the tax.
Yeah, I thought you said full loaders were okay.
Yeah.
Now he's just dumping one. Very cool.
That was a really fun match, and we made a lot of really good friends there. So for any of y'all that are in the comments or watching that we met out at Kalashnikov, like that was really special for Clay and I to get to go and have fun. Because we could show up to stuff like that, and then just kind of it could be really, just weird or whatever, or it could just be kind of like uncomfortable. But we went, and dude, everybody there was so fucking cool, and our squad, like especially by the end of it all, it was like we were all exchanging personal information, and just that was really cool. That was really fun.
Probably one of probably the funnest match I shot last year, one of the funnest AK matches I've ever shot. And it's kind of got like that small grassroots feel. A lot of dudes show up, and I know there's people in the comments that shot that match. It's just got that grassroots, like you can just tell this is a small group of people putting this thing on. They work their butts off to make it happen. And it was just so cool, dude. I'm definitely going back. I don't ever want to miss it. Super cool. Happens in Houston, Missouri, and you guys should check it out.
For sure.
Halcyon Defense has some surprises soon. Hey, anything from Halcyon is going to be 100% quality shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put anything Halcyon up there at the very tippy top of something that was built by a professional who, it's like, that guy is going to be more about quality over quantity all day long. That guy's going to put out the best of the best that you can get.
Here's a good question for you, Tony. What would you rather get? A PSA, American-made 5.56 AK with 2,300 rounds. I'm assuming this guy has an option. Or would you get an SLR 106 FR? Let's say it's minty for the same money. Would you go minty 106 FR? No ammo. American-made 5.56 AK with over 2,000 rounds for the same money. I know what my answer is.
I mean, I'd probably still go with a 106, and it has nothing to do with like resale value down the road. But, you know, we've got a lot of SLR guns, and they run fantastic, and they're great running guns. I know exactly what I'm going to get with that gun, so that's probably what I would pick.
That's true, and it's not to poo-poo on PSA. It's just the 106 is absolutely proven. I think if you watch my channel at all, you know 106 is run. And Tony couldn't have said it better, dude. Something about Arsenal AKs, like they just don't make duds. They just don't. I mean, compared to all the other AK manufacturers and imports, like a lot of Bulgarian AKs came in, and maybe some new SAM 5s are a little overgassed. Any 5.56 AK is going to be highly gassed. I dare you to find a lot of Arsenals that came in, and we're not talking about flaky finishes. I'm talking guns that just did not work. You won't find any. Dude, I've got a safe full. My very first AK ever was an Arsenal, or decent AK was an Arsenal SLR 107. Dude, I've shot the balls off that gun. It just nothing happens. No matter how you torque on magazines, no matter what you do, and the 106 has been the same quality in my opinion. I would overpay for a 106 these days. If I wanted the best 5.56 AK I could find, that's what I would do.
And here's the truth, like, we're not poo-pooing on American-made, stuff, but American-made AKs are basically reverse engineered off of the same tooling and off of the same guns. If we're talking about an SLR 106, that would have been a host gun that had to be reverse engineered in order for one of these American manufacturers to make that gun. So, there's just a lot of little things, when the companies here in the US that are reverse engineering and they're trying to do their best to create clones, they're not exact at all. You'll see that some manufacturers, their handguard retainers are a little different spec. It's just little tiny details. And we've talked about this before, and we could probably talk for hours on a live stream about this, but the reality of it is that anything that you can pick up from Palmetto State Armory, from KUSA, or pick any American-made manufacturer, and the gun that you're going to be able to get off the shelf a year from now, 2 years from now, is going to be better than the one that you picked up today. They're only going to get better. They're going to make revisions to their tooling. They're going to make revisions to their process. They're going to partner with companies that can make better tooling and better whatever, right? That's just the reality of it. And versus something like a 106, the reality of ever being able to get one of those again is gone. And so if you want one of those, now's your opportunity to get one. And you can probably still find them in the box that haven't been shot. But, 5 years, 10 years from now, you're going to end up buying the one that someone's rattle canned and put, shit furniture all over it. So I don't know, man. That's just kind of how I've been looking at it. I've never really been motivated on my side to buy like a USAK outside of buying it so I can do some R&D and make sure parts compatibility and stuff like that. And in the process of doing that, I found that a lot of these US guns They're just a little bit of a different spec in just little ways, little tiny little details. So
Yep.
I'll leave it at that for now. That would be a good topic for later on.
AK Johnny, y'all think 545 has a future? I find myself holding back with my 74 lately. Or should I just bite the bullet and get a 556? Man, I'm always hot or cold on this. For the longest time, before I got like a nice AK-74 and really started shooting 545 a lot, I would have said, why even bother? Just get some 556 AKs and enjoy your smaller caliber AK. You never have to worry about ammo, and you get to shoot AKs because AKs are awesome. But there's nothing like a 545 AK. Nothing. There's just nothing that shoots like it. They shoot softer than 556. They're just as flat. It's an awesome freaking round. I wouldn't hold off on your 545, dude. I think companies like PSA and some of these other guys are going to see this huge hole in the market. I mean, they're all making 74s. KUSA maybe might make one day. Who the hell knows? It's going to be years from now. PSA is this huge machine, and whether we like their guns or not, I could totally see these dudes somehow selling 545 in the future. Yeah. I definitely think that's going to happen, and it will probably be kind of affordable if I had to guess.
And I'll tell you this, dude, when I first started getting into AKs back in like 2012, there wasn't really any US manufacturer making a like gun that you could go buy off the shelf that's like completely 100% made here in the US. That was like even worth taking a look at. And the fact that we have that now, even if there are some opportunities and some improvements that are coming along the way over time, they'll get there eventually. When they do, we'll look back and we'll be able to see kind of that journey and like, hey, dude, Toyota was that way too. So was Hyundai. When they first came here to the States, like they weren't the company that they are today. So anyways, I think that we're very lucky that we have companies that are kind of hedging the amount of cash that they are to develop a rifle that will eventually be something that anybody can own and be really proud of. So that's kind of cool to think about.
Mountain Gunner, 556 Galil Ace or Sam 5? I know for me personally, if only one of them is an option, I go Sam 5, but I've got both. But if I had to keep one, it would be the Sam 5. I just freaking love that gun.
But the Galil Aces are pretty cool.
They are super sick. No, I have both, but if I could only have one. Where's the Waffle Stomp merch? Why are we lacking on that?
We'll get to work on that. I think we can probably do a Waffle Stomp shirt, maybe in the spring or something.
Does 556 AK shoot softer than 556 AR? It depends. Some do. Like the M90, it's so heavy and it has a small gas port. It, in my opinion, does shoot as soft as an AR. On gas setting one with steel case ammo. Some of the other AKs, like Sam 5s, most of them are really gassy, overgassed. It's a really high pressure round in a platform that is already overgassed, so they do jump around. That's why I always say they shoot, they have a lot more punch than a 545 AK. They just do. It's a much more high pressure round. So I would say most of the time they do not shoot as soft as a 556 AR. Flood, ever come across metal 545 mags? Yes, Tantal mags. That's probably exactly what you have.
I think there's some Romy 545 mags out there too, right?
Ooh, that's right. The Ames 74. That's right. So yeah, both of those. Honest opinion on PSA AK-47s. Like I say, I'm currently reviewing a PSA AK. I don't want to. Most of you probably already know what it is, but I don't want to totally give it away. But full transparency, I think it's like some of their variants are just really good to go. Some of them. And then some, they just have blatant problems, and they seem like they're problems that are really easy to fix, which is why, there's so many generations. But I'm kind of hot or cold, man. Like I say, I've experienced some of them that run really well, and some have just had problems. And that is like my personal experience. I'm not just regurgitating what I hear on the internet. What's a good buy once, cry once AK in 7.62 with a 16-inch barrel for someone who is in the market for their first AK? Assume the cost is no issue. If cost is no issue, I would say get you a 107 FR. If you can find one and buy it, that's a really damn good 7.62 AK.
I'm going to do a video. I'm going to start posting more frequently on my YouTube channel. But one of the videos I'm going to post is there's some AKs out there, some sleepers that are guns that were like imported, years ago, like 5-10 years ago, that are kind of under the radar that not a lot of people talk about, that you can get, that are like original barrel, like basically imagine like kind of how a Wasser comes in, but much better quality than a Wasser gun. And I've got several of those types of guns in my inventory and collection that like nobody talks about, and nobody really, a few people know about, and they pop up quite frequently. And because they're kind of an unknown, like they can be snatched up for a great price. Like, for example, I got a gun that I just picked up the other day. I told Clay about it. This is a gun that was imported as a full Bulgarian 74 original barrel, trunnion, everything, or imported on a receiver here to Texas, to an importer here in Texas. And I was able to pick it up for what was like $1,300.
Yep.
Original barrel Bulgarian gun. I called the dealer up and was like, I want to buy that gun, made an offer, he accepted, done. Like, dude, an original Bulgarian parts kit is probably about that much money, if not maybe a little bit more. So there are some sleeper guns out there that I think
these are the Arsenal USA guns you're talking about.
Armory USA.
Armory USA, that's correct. Yeah, there's like a whole world of AKs back in those days. The Gordon Techs, the Armory USAs. There's a bunch of cool stuff that nobody talks about. Dude.
We should be making videos talking about these sleeper guns.
I found a random Gordon Tech at a pawn shop once. Bulgarian, no. It was a Hungarian Type 3 parts kit, OG barrel, proof stamps all over the damn thing on a Bulgarian milled receiver with all the Hungarian furniture and a butt ton of mags for $900. For crying out, this is a Type 3 Hungarian kit on a Bulgarian receiver for $900. Gordon Techs. Mishako is like the only dude that even has a video on them, so like not a lot of people know about them. SLR 100H. Some of you have come across those. They were made by 2 or 3 different assemblers back in the day on SLR 100H receivers. They're just Bulgarian receivers. Same thing like my K101 is built on. It's a 100H receiver. A lot of those were built with Type 3 kits from Hungary. Super cool shit.
There's also like guns out there that were done like as a run. So for example, Two Rivers, right? Yep. Two Rivers, back when the Egyptian kits first came in, you have to, for those of you that are like new in the game here, the type of parts kits that you're buying today are generally like what we would consider like grade D. Like the parts aren't matching numbers. They're like pitted and rusty and like pretty rough condition. And that's pretty much what's available like for you to go online right now and buy for parts kits. But 10, 15 years ago, the parts kits were, not only were they more abundant and better priced, but they were in like really great condition. So we were getting guns over here, like Polish guns where the bolt carrier, gas tube, rear sight block, rear sight leaf, top cover, all had numbers on them, and they were all matching number, parts kits. Well, around that time, there were companies like Two Rivers that was taking like the mintiest, nicest Egyptian kits and building them up with like Romanian barrels with like the Egyptian markings on the receiver. And they did like a group buy on them for, I don't know how many they did, let's say 100 of them. And those guns are floating around, here and there that, they're not like sleepers like you can buy for a cheap price, but I have one of those guns in my collection that I picked up. And it's like, there's a lot of these like really kind of interesting things that were built up, over the years that are worth keeping an eye open for at least.
Yeah, a bunch. Any chance of doing a Kalashmish style meet and greet shoot? Kalashmish is over. Those days are behind us. You know, at the last one we announced it would be the last one, so that's why there will not be one this month. We may do some meet and greets, but I'm telling you guys, like, you guys just stay tuned for what's popping up in the future, and we will satisfy all of your meet and greet needs. I promise.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do more of those in the future.
Yeah. What makes a good AK rifle match and what makes a great AK rifle match? I think this can be answered pretty quick. Just calling it an AK match and letting dudes come shoot their AKs will make it a good AK match. Calling it an AK match and only letting people bring AKs and theming your stages. Because AK people, we're a little different than the average gun shooter. We're into all the random crazy shit. We like action movies. We have inside jokes. There's a lot of shit that just, we get into. Theming your stages around AK culture and only allowing AKs to shoot it is the recipe for a great AK match. That's a match. We're talking events. We're talking like straight matches. All right, what do you say we get 3 more questions under our belt? And then we will call it a wrap for episode 5.
Third pin threads and co stage was fun. Hit it with your purse stage. That was fun.
Yeah. Old Jerry. So I hear Jerry might be making that BRN 180, that 7.62 upper that I had. So little birdie tells me he has converted that to accept AK mags, which would be very cool.
I think he posted something with a Bakelite magnet recently.
Cool. Let's see. Here's a decent one. Do you play video games, Clay? And what's your favorite video game? Mine's COD 4. I don't play anymore. I just literally don't have the time. Like, I wish I could sit for 3 hours and play every night. I just can't. And I just can't. I just don't have the time. Favorite game of all time was probably Red Dead Redemption. As far as the CODs, bro, Black Ops 1 and 2, hands down, 2 of the best games I've ever played. The coolest guns, all Cold War era guns. And the best characters, the best storyline. Just, you can run around with suppressed Galils and AKs and, the freaking Colt Commando, all the cool stuff. Those were 2 of the best ever. But I don't play anymore. I just can't.
Do you prefer the 107 to the SAM 7? Oh, hell yeah.
I would say yes. An FR with a folding stock. The fixed stock 107, I would take a SAM 7 over that.
Yeah, me too.
Super Geo killer. Let me tell you why this is a terrible idea. Need to have a match with a teardown AK in the middle of the stage. Dog. I thought everyone that came to KB just knew how to tear an AK down. You would sure think that, dude. We have sat there with crickets for like 10 minutes watching these 2 dudes try to tear down and reassemble an AK. Seriously reconsidering even doing that in front of a crowd because dudes just can't figure it out. That people would time out constantly. I know you can do it, Super Geo Killer, but I would say 5 out of the 10 people that come to KB can't tear down an AK. I'm not throwing shade, but you guys need to fix that ratio. That's not a good ratio at all.
Mm-hmm. And I suspect some of those people would know how to tear down an AR.
Yeah, sons of bitches. Need to learn. You need to do some homework before you go to KB. Richard8209, $5 tip. Bro, thank you for that. He said, would you rather a Gen 1 Ace 5.56 8-inch or a SAM 5 SFK 8-inch? If it were available. Also, thoughts on Zastava M77 RPK 308. I was asking like a ton of questions. Build since all the parts kits are available now. SAM 5 SFK. That is the short 5.56.
That's a little shorty SAM 5, which I don't think they've ever made. Now, Sam 7 SFK would be bad to the bone to have, and I wish I had one.
So he's like it's a hypothetical question. He said, if they were available, what would you take? I think the little Sam 5 shorter would be sick. It'd be cool because it would be super rare. Everyone's got a Gen 1 Ace 8-inch. I would definitely take the Sam 5 if it were available. The M77 RPK 308 would be super nasty. That would be really cool. So thank you for that question, dude. Appreciate it. Here's a good one, Tony. What other AK-style matches events are there besides Clash Bash, Kalashnikon, and Red October?
Thunder on the Tundra, which is up in Wisconsin, right?
Right. There's AK Masters. That's put on by PSA out in the Carolinas. I think South Carolina. Short of that, I don't want to step on my dick here.
You know, you could do what Clay and I did. Get a couple of your good buddies together, plan it out, and just throw caution into the wind.
Yep. Ooh, Rachel just yelled at me from the living room. There's Red October Cold War. Lee Armory, Mario, those guys helped put that on.
Yep, that's another good one.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of local matches out there that do AK stuff. For instance, Jim does Texas Kalash. That's a monthly match. It's not like a big production, but it's monthly. I think there's a bunch of those going on out there, but those are all the big brand events that I could possibly think of right now. All really spaced out. But yeah, man, you know, it doesn't, I'm telling you, dude. We always get comments where people are like, oh, we need that in Florida. Oh, we need that in here, or pick a state. We need one of those here. Just like Tony said, dude, if you can get 100 people to gather in a field, which if you talk about it long enough and you get on forums and you get enough people talking about it, and you can get like 100 people to show up in a field, maybe get a vendor or two to come out. Dude, that's how it all starts. And then you can have a little AK event in your own state near you, or even if it turns into like a little monthly thing, or like just a one-time gathering. That is how we started. We all met through friends on AK Files. Like, I'm not making this up.
Yeah, and you know, like last year at Kalash Bash, there were, you know, like somewhere around 1,000 people. But the very first Kalash Bash, our very first time was like maybe like 30, 40 people, and it wasn't a fancy range. It was just dirt. I don't even think they had maybe a couple tables, but no chairs, no over awnings or whatever. And had we not done that, we would have never even thought to try to push it and go further. And so it could be something as simple as like creating awareness in your town and just saying, hey, we're all going to meet up and have lunch and, you know, go shoot at a range together, and everyone pay their own fee to get in the door. And before you know it, you got a nice little circle of, you know, 40, 50 people, and each of those people brings 2, 3 friends to the next thing, and you're on the level.
And then it snowballs. I mean, it'll snowball. You guys, at least you guys will do that every year. It'll be like a yearly thing, which is like how our little Christmas event popped up. That was us hanging out, like basically having like a Christmas party amongst ourselves. And like 2 or 3 years into it, we called it Kalashmas and sold some tickets one year, and then it sort of snowballed. That's all it was. That was like literally, hey, let's go shoot guns. We need an excuse to go shoot guns in December. We'll all wear Christmas sweaters and we'll do a Christmas thing. That's all that was. It was like 25 of us out there.
Yeah, it was like the weather, it was like real foggy out, and probably like 40 people showed up. Oh, not even that, maybe even like 30 people, but there were so many guns. It was like every person brought like 4 or 5 guns, and we ran out of table space. And I remember catching video footage of it, and it was like for like a very clear like 40-yard like length of dirt, there was nothing but gun cases and guns just everywhere. I had never seen anything like it before, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, there's guns here, I don't even know what they are. Like, I was such a noob. And I was like, I just have never seen so many just like sprawled out, and it was just, the weather was nice. Remember, all the pictures came out really good. Like, man, that was a lot of fun, and that's where it all got started.
Yeah, Kalash Kamaz, Red Labor, that actually that happens in California. So they're all shooting it with like, you know, ban compliant guns. But California has their own AK event. And PSA just did their Winter Motherland like a week or 2 ago. They do a winter time AK event, so they do 2 every year. So there's also that if you guys were interested. And with that, we're getting close to 2 hours. Told myself we wouldn't go that long, but we did. So
thank you for joining us, folks. Always have fun with y'all.
Yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us on this Monday. So there you go, man. Tony, any final thoughts you want to leave everyone with?
No, just stay tuned for Sunday. Clay and I are going to share some exciting news with the world.
Exciting news. And remember the topics that we covered, man. Third pin shooting team would be super cool. And these events, dude, they don't happen often. So when you hear about one popping up, jump on it. Like the second you hear about it, jump on it. Tickets to these things usually sell out so fast. And more often than not, there's more people saying, God, I wish I would have went, than people that said, I went and I had a great time. Don't be the latter. Go to these events. They're a freaking blast. All right, everyone. I love you all.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Love you. Bye. Good night.
We'll do this again very soon. We won't go so long next time, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Later, everybody.
All right.